Lovely to be in here, and I've jumped in a bit earlier than I expected to. However, I trust the flow, and I was open up and I was like, I can do it now, so I'm doing it now. So Tracy, I'm answering your questions around, you say you're wanting to do a raw vegan detox from Cox? I don't know. I'm wanting to do a raw vegan detox. Do you know of any detox plans with food ideas and things I could follow? Would love your thoughts or any information on this. So, first thing I want to say is I'm pretty sure I just saw you share a photo of your beautiful child at 7 months of age. So the first thing that was coming to mind when I was thinking, you know, always get information before I jump on the live stream about what I'm saying. Not always, but it started flowing through, and it was just really important to say, you know, if you're breastfeeding, and you know, and you've got a young one, you know, like, just be mindful of doing a detox. Like, personally, I wouldn't do a detox. That's just me. I personally wouldn't be doing a detox if I was still breastfeeding. So, you know, I was going to do more raw vegan and then I found out I was pregnant, and I'm like, well, that goes out the window, because unless you know, like, there's plenty of raw vegan women who, you know, go through their entire pregnancies and breastfeeding while raw vegan. However, if you haven't done that before, especially completely fully, your body will go into detox. And the thing about, you know, detox, whether you're breastfeeding or not, is that when you do a detox, your system has a chance to repair, right? It has a chance to rest. That's what a detox is you remove foods that are not good for you, right? You remove foods from your diet, food and drinks from your diet that are not good for you, and because of that space, your body goes, oh, I can rest, right? Because our body is constantly processing foods, chemicals, you know, everything, 24/7, all the time, right? Because we're constantly eating the same foods and drinks and all that sort of thing. So when we do a detox and we remove foods, it gets a chance, a space to rest, right? Which is what we do and what we learn about with the chakras, and I teach, and it's like we're always constantly doing. We need the inflow to come in and be rest, stop, replenish, right? It's the same with our food. If we're constantly feeding all the time, the body's constantly got to keep up with it, right? When we stop that and take foods out, the body's like, oh, I can breathe, right? So, and what that does is it gives the body a chance to clean itself, right? Now, Marcus Rothkrantz says that you should be doing a fast day once a week. So from lunchtime to lunchtime, don't eat anything. So have your lunch and then don't eat anything for dinner that night. Or he says you can, you know, have a light meal, you know, if you're not used to doing raw, but otherwise you just fast with water and teas, like cup of teas, herbal teas. Otherwise, you know, like just a soup or something, you know, like just have a light meal, or, you know, and go to bed when the sun goes down. That way your body has the chance to rest, and that's why we sleep every night, because it gives our body a chance to rest and repair. Yeah, otherwise we'd be go all the time, be daylight all the time, right? So tune into what feels right for you. Obviously it's calling you, yeah, but I'm just saying, be mindful that if you are breastfeeding, and especially with little ones, you know, like it's a full-time job looking after little babies and children. You know, and yes, we need to look after our body, and yes, we need to do, you know, give our body a chance to detox and repair. However, just be mindful that when you do a full-on detox, your body will go into, you know, repair. And what it does when it dumps all the toxins into your system, it makes you extremely tired, right? It actually makes you feel worse. In the first part of a detox, you feel worse because all the toxins and chemicals are getting dumped in your system so that can be released, not sitting in your cells and your blood and your organs and stuff like that. So you do feel worse. That's why when people, you know, who are not really aware of, you know, what to do on a detox and all that sort of thing, and they do a detox and they're like, oh, it made me feel worse, so I stopped. It's like, well, yeah, your body's cleaning out all the stuff, right? It's the same thing as when you go to clean a room in your house or something, or drawers or cupboards, and you got to pull everything out and there's shit everywhere. Well, it looks worse. What, are we just going to leave it in there? No, we're going to pull it all out. That goes in the bin. That can go here, file, put away, all neat again. Yeah, it's what your body's doing. Dumping all the stuff, cleaning out that organ, fresh stuff can come in and actually absorb the nutrients properly. Now, the other thing with that is my kind of second point that I want to share about that is that, like, do your proper research, yeah, because this is, you know, and I guess I'm talking when I'm saying this to the people who have never done detoxes before, who have never, you know, been really conscious of their foods and all that sort of thing. If you're brand new to this, do your research before you do a detox, right? Because like I said, you take some stuff out, you'll feel crap, you'll feel worse than you've ever felt in your life because your body's cleaning out, you're tired, you're exhausted, you just feel sick even, right? Because there's that much toxins in your body if you've never done a detox before. And you go, oh, this isn't working, and people are like, oh, don't do that, because, you know, like, oh my God, you're getting sick, you know, like, why are you sick? You know, and that's when people don't realize, and then they, you know, they'll stop it because everyone's telling them they look worse and they feel worse and everything. So if you're going to commit to a proper detox, do your research and know what the detox symptoms are before you actually do it, right? Be very clear, because there will be people around you going, oh, you look worse, you shouldn't stop doing that, you're getting sick, like, this healthy stuff's no good for you, right? Come on. So just be mindful. Now, I'm going to say one more thing. So that's the other thing. Do your research. And then the third thing, find a plan that resonates with you and stick to it. So as much as there is many different foods in the world, there is as many different detoxes in the world, okay? You've got to find one that works for you. There's obviously raw vegan detoxes, there's paleo detoxes, and I don't even really like using the word detox in a sense because they're a lifestyle. It's the way of eating, yeah? Because when, you know, and the thing for me, you know, like I did raw vegan for 3 months, really strictly in 2012, but I wasn't cleaning out. And this is the biggest thing about people, you know, doing a detox. I was waiting for my enema kit to arrive, but I hadn't actually received it yet. So when you detox, and like I said, all the stuff goes in, your body gets a chance to clean, so it dumps all the stuff. It's like, oh, finally I can get rid of all this stuff I've been holding on to and creating, you know, anyway, because it's like us, you know, we're busy, we're like, oh, that can wait, so we've got to keep doing this thing, right? And then the body goes, oh, I got a chance to clean, so it's like, oh, I can start cleaning out this cupboard, right? Got space here. So when I did my 3-month raw vegan detox back in 2012, I had really bad BO, like I stunk, you know, even though I was having garlic and all this sort of thing, like the garlic, the smells were so strong. Because I wasn't cleaning out properly. Now, you know, like I said, if you're going to do a detox, find the one that resonates with you, that is manageable for your lifestyle and your current situation. Be prepared for what a detox will bring about in your life, because not only are you working with the physical, but, you know, food and alcohol and all that, drugs, anything covers up emotions, right? That's why we're addicted to certain foods, because we're covering up certain emotions. So when you start removing foods from your diet, it's not just physical you're dealing with the emotions that you've been buried for a long time. So yes, physical healing happens. However, the emotions that are stored, that are connected to that organ, also will surface, and you're going to have to be dealing with that too. So that's why a lot of people go, oh, it's too hard, and, you know, go back to their normal ways, because especially if they don't have the conscious awareness to be able to be doing the personal development work as well as the physical work. As I always say, it's a whole picture. It's not just one piece of the pie, right? It's a whole pie that you have to be mindful of checking in with, and, you know, working with all of those sections at once. So what else am I needing to say here? So the other thing is, you know, like, so when I say cleaning out, I mean enemas. Now you have to be comfortable, and that's what I'm saying, find a plan that works for you. Because if you go for, okay, so say for example, you want to do, like you're saying, Tracy, a raw vegan detox, yeah? It depends which way you're looking at it, yeah? Are you wanting to just do a full clean out of your system for a couple of months and then go back to your normal ways? Or are you wanting to change the way you eat, so it's a long-term goal of how your body wants to look, feel, be mentally, all of that sort of thing? So look at why you're doing something, and, you know, go from there, and that will help you to, one, stay on track with it, but also to, you know, kind of the long term of of your goal, right? Like that needs to be clear in yourself, because it'll get to, like I said, you'll start eating raw vegan and then all these emotions will come up and you'll feel worse because your body's getting a chance from all the cooked foods and processed foods and chemicals, you know, and then it's kind of like dumping all this stuff and you're like, oh, this is too hard, and then you stop because raw vegan brings up all this emotion and everything that's buried. So like I said, if you're feeling really strongly called to it, by all means trust that and follow that, but do your research first and have a, you know, I guess a structure or something that you can follow. And I know that that's what you are asking for, right? So I'm just going to turn this around. So as you know, sorry, I'll just find this switch around because I forgot to do it at the start. So as you know, I love Marcus Rothkrantz simply because, and I'm pretty sure I've shared before, like he's got all his you know, $10 ebooks for certain ailments, and you know, so if you've got depression or anxiety or something like that, you can go straight to that particular ailment. He'll tell you why, tell you what herbs you need, tell you, you know, the detox, but he always refers to this, which is his book, Heal Yourself 101. I'm pretty sure I shared on live stream the other day that he got sick and tired of people saying to him that I can't afford it, and so I'm pretty sure his PDF version of this book is free, so there's kind of like no excuses, and you know, you can go and read that. Now this is like the kind of Healing Yourself 101. If you really want to do something properly, I would really recommend reading this before you go and do you know, the raw vegan detox plan. Now that doesn't mean that you can't start eating more raw food in your diet like now, okay? It could mean removing I don't know, it could mean removing breads, pastas, cereals and grains. It could be removing just that simply from your diet, yeah? And having more fresh greens and salads, and you know, in Australia here we're coming into summer now, so it's easier to eat those sorts of foods too. You know, it could be as simple as that to start today then, because like I said, when you know, stop and you take all these foods out, your body goes into detox. There's ways you can do it gently, yeah? You're not going to get the same beneficial effects straight away, but again, this is why getting clear on your overall long-term goals and why you're wanting to do something, because I guess especially with kids or a busy lifestyle and looking after your family or working full-time, it's easier to manage by, say for example, taking out grains and pastas from your diet. Perhaps you know, you might do that for a month, and then you're going to work on dairy, and then you'll remove dairy from your diet too, and that way it's kind of manageable. It's a you know, and I'm not, like I said, everything I'm saying is just suggestions and feel what's right for you. It's just that I know from my personal experience, going like cold turkey the next day is challenging if you don't have the support, right? Because yes, the reason that I actually went 100% raw vegan in 2012 was because the doctor told me I had to get my gallbladder out, and I was like, well, no way. So I looked up Marcus Rothkrantz. Well, I think I actually googled it, and that's how I stumbled across him, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. So much free content, so many YouTube videos. Like I said, you know, like money is not your excuse. And I found he had the ebook that I said, you know, they're only cheap, and it's like all the information you need. It's actually his gallbladder and liver ebook is what I actually bought originally, and then, you know, and it said refer to this book, and so I got the books and got the parasite cleanse and all that sort of thing. And like I said, you know, like I look back on that time, and yeah, I started to feel amazing after about a month to 6 weeks. But you know, you can, I don't know if you can speed the process up, but you know, with enemas, it helps to clean out your system, but you must be comfortable doing it. If nothing feels right, don't do it, right? This is why we're in trust intuition, right? This is what I stress about. Trust yourself. However, if you're feeling cool, but if you've got young children and you're breastfeeding, I personally wouldn't be doing it. So, you know, I wanted to do a detox. I was hanging to stop breastfeeding Adea. She breastfed for 2.5 years. And, you know, it's like in that time, you know, I knew my body needed detox, but there was no way I was going to attempt it with one, you know, that, because as the toxins dump all into a system, well, then that goes into the breast milk and into your children. So that's why I personally wouldn't do it. But again, you got to tune into what's right for you. So you asked me what I'd recommend. This is what I would recommend, simply because it tells you why. You know, I fully resonate with this guy, with his beliefs, and, you know, the way he is, and love so much about him and Cara. If, you know, again, that's what I would recommend for myself, to recommend for you guys, you know, if you're wanting to learn more about raw vegan in particular, definitely. I feel like for me, he's just the go-to person, you know. I'm like Googling whatever my question in, and then I type his name in because I want to see what he says about it first. That's how much I love and resonate with his work, yeah. And I'm grateful because, you know, it's helped so much of my life, you know, like with him getting onto his life purpose, he's able to help me so much. So anyway, so that's what I would recommend. Now, like I said, there's heaps of no, when you said, I think, like a detox plan or food ideas and that sort of thing, like in his book, he does give, you know, some recipes. There's colonics, there's enemas. So you can go get professional colonics done. You don't have to do them yourself. It's all about the herbs. There's what you need to remove from your diet, what the breads, pastas, cooked food, soy, you know, where you get your protein from, all of that. It's all in there. So, and that's why I recommend it. It tells you exactly what to do. Okay, mistakes raw foodists make. So this is the other thing that I wanted to share too, that was like a big like wake up for me too. Because whilst I had read his books and everything like that, I'd still kind of done it, and this time going raw, I'm a lot more conscious of it, because, you know, there's some raw foodists out there that have actually got a bit of weight on them, and people are like, oh, raw food is supposed to be not that, or, you know, or people are raw food and they struggle to lose their belly fat or anything like that. So people think that going raw vegan is a lot of crackers and, what does he say, like just enough fruit and, you know, that sort of thing. It's kind of like that sort of stuff all the time isn't as beneficial. Like if you look at the full raw food philosophy or plant-based philosophy and where that actually kind of stems from, it's alive, growing, you know, go and pick the grass from your garden and eat that. Yeah, there's no hardly any sweet stuff. Like it's nature, right? So would you find the crackers, the raw food crackers and everything like that in nature? Well, not really. Yes, we can eat them, but not, you know, it's something I wouldn't recommend. What's the word, getting comfortable eating every single day, right? We want to be eating, you know, like lots of fresh juices. The bitter the better, you know. And Marcus even says in here, you know, like he doesn't have sweet stuff all the time, you know, like it's like the raw chocolate and everything like that he'll have as a treat when he's got friends coming over, you know. So it's getting out of the mindset, which is, you know, our current society is in, of like, you know, sugar is in absolutely everything, you know, like sugar, you know, the bread, cereals, pastas, as soon as you put them into your mouth, they turn into sugar in your system. So it's kind of like, you know, to actually remove sugar, and that's what you might be raw vegan, you might be drawn to. I know I've seen books and someone's written a book and all this stuff about the sugar-free diet, so it could be you go down that path, or it could be raw vegan, but make sure you're not just eating crackers and stuff all the time. You want to be eating the big green leafy salads and more bitter stuff than sweet. Yeah, stay away from the sweets. You've lost over 142 pounds. I don't want vegan, but I'm getting closer to not eating meat. Yeah, and I mean, like, I have nothing against paleo. When I was paleo, I had the flattest stomach on the earth, probably because as a raw vegan, I probably do tend to eat more sweet stuff. I do have a sweet stuff. I've admitted that the other day on live stream. You know, and I'm conscious of it, yeah, but it's just like having that awareness and knowing what you need, and that's why doing, you know, as much research as you can, and then again, you know, your blood type comes into it, your, you know, how worn out your organs are, you know, like, and that's why tuning into your own body and what you need. You could go paleo for a while and you're like, oh, this is enough for me now, I need to do something else, or I'm feeling, can't eat that meat. And this is the thing with intuitive eating, it's not like being rigid and stuck to one certain way. Like when you're doing a real strong detox to heal something, I recommend being super strict, you know, to really give your body that chance. But, you know, like if you're intuitive eating, it's like, you know, trusting when you feel like a piece of red meat, and feel like, trust yourself when you're like, well, that's a bit too much for my body needs a rest from that certain food. And, you know, and that's why it might go in cycles. You might be like, you know, dairy free for a year, and then you're like, oh no, I feel like I need that. And you need to trust yourself. And there's another good book, I don't actually have it, I borrowed it from a friend, can't remember his name. there's like an Ayurvedic raw vegan book, or a guy who's written a book, but it's all the Ayurvedic stuff. I just got goosebumps saying that, truth bumps. So, you know, like having that is the Ayurvedic. So, you know, like, because a lot of raw foodists, you know, sometimes say that they can't eat raw food in winter time. Well, it's about learning how to do that with your gingers, your spices, and warming the food so it's still raw. Obviously wouldn't have it, I personally wouldn't have it, I don't have it cold straight out of the fridge, but it's about having the, you know, like the warming spices which warm you up from the inside out. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So you know, like, feel into what's right for you. Like I said, if you want to learn about raw vegan, I highly recommend Marcus Roskrantz, Heal Yourself 101. That's what I would be like, well, read that, and then that will kind of allow you to stem off into where you feel called to. I was looking at all my recipe books on the shelf before I come on live stream, and I'm like, most of my recipe books are this. Raw food. So Annie Fire is another awesome person who got a lot of raw food books. Mind you, when I was doing this several years ago, a lot of these women, well, not a lot of them, couple that I heard, like the Alyssa Cohen and stuff, they did all the raw food, like kitchens, and, you know, like open restaurants and stuff like that. And then a lot of them don't really eat raw food all the time either. Some are really strict and some do, but some don't. I really love this Annie's Raw Food Asia. It's like all Asian recipes. I use a lot of recipes out of that book. I love Annie's stuff. So, you know, and again, the other way is going, you know, like nourishing traditions. So I highly recommend, you know, again, it's just trusting what you feel called to. This is where I learned all about my bone broths, you know, and about how to, what's the word? I can't even remember what the process, like what I'm trying to say, but it's like when you get the raw milk and then turn it into your own cheese and all that sort of thing. I did a lot of all that when Adea was really young to get all the fats and the different bacterias into her system, you know, all of that sort of thing. So Sally Fallon is another awesome one. There's also the GAPS diet. So this is like meats and the bone broths and stuff. Sally Fallon is this one. There's another one called the GAPS diet. I can't actually remember the author of the book. It's in my shelf. And that's another, you know, bone broth sort of way, without grains and pastas, to heal autism, ADD, ADHD, all that stuff. It's all gut brain related. Like, it's so, you know, powerful. You like that. So you was about to stop. I do know I need to get off live stream in a minute, so maybe that's my sign. I need to get off. You've been diagnosed breast cancer. I go tomorrow for, I can't even say it. Yeah, okay, cool. Feeding our souls. Yeah, breast cancer from a metaphysical perspective is taking care of yourself. We mother, like breastfeeding babies, we mother ourselves from, you know, looking after everybody, and as a mother we forget about ourselves. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure even if you've even got children, Heidi, but you know, it doesn't have to be children for breast cancer. It's looking after everybody else and not letting your heart be open enough to let the love and receiving in. So I talk about that a lot, letting it in. There's one thing I was going to say to that too, what you were saying. I can't remember what I was going to say, but I was going to say too, I did say the other day on my live stream, I'm pretty sure you watched it, that, you know, like the medical system, it all has a purpose, you know, and trust. I think I even said this the other day, trust. If you need to go to surgery, trust that, because it could save your life, and then you can work on changing your diet and everything else that you need to change metaphysically to not allow that to happen. So I'm going to do another live stream this afternoon to talk about what happens when you get an organ removed and the energy is still sitting there. So I'll jump on this afternoon onto my my personal page, public page, and do that. So Tracy, I hope that helps you. Let me know if you've got any more questions, and, you know, just comment below if there's anything that comes up. There's so much more that I could talk about without this, kind of like a real, how long's a piece of string with this sort of thing. But the biggest thing is to just be mindful that your body will go into detox. Oh, that's the other thing. He explains detox symptoms in here. What happens when you detox? You feel like shit. You know, like perhaps old ailments that you used to have like a long time ago like really come prominent, because it's actually got a chance to heal. You know, like it's not nice the first, you know, couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on what you're healing when you do a detox. That's why I'm like cautious of even telling anybody, or, you know, like what to do. And it's like, do the research yourself, even if you have to get a naturopath or some payer practitioner to help guide you through, because it's something that you really need to, you know, yeah, just be mindful of, and, you know, do what feels right for you, because the detox part isn't a nice experience. You'll want to sleep lots, you'll be feeling sicker, you know, like, so just trust yourself. Comment below if you've got any questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, and if you think this would if you think this would help somebody, please share it. Otherwise, I shall see you all very soon. Remember, keep it real. Always trust what feels right to you rather than what anyone else is saying to you, and lots of love. Namaste.